Hello and welcome to the Record Sports Hotline Live, brought to you by Scottish Water, trusted to serve Scotland. My name is Daniel Cott. I'm delighted to be joined in Boston by the Laurel and Hardy of Record Sport. But I say that more than ever because Scott McDermott and Keith Jackson had to move their table and chairs there. And honestly, anyone watching at home, it was just like when Laurel and Hardy have to move the piano. It was a good one.
It was a bit.
How are you guys doing?
We're a bit flustered, Daniel.
Listen, I'm half sleeping.
Exactly.
We were still working at 9-10 o'clock UK time this morning. And it was 4 o'clock in the morning US time, and then up at 9 o'clock UK time to start working our US time. I'm all over the shop.
I just don't think I'll ever get used to waking up at 7 in the morning.
I'm thinking it's 12 o'clock back home.
Aye, you get about 27 WhatsApps and 40 emails to deal with.
I know, it's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is annoying. I was saying if the time difference was reversed, it'd be perfect. But it's not, sadly.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, well, anyway, well, despite the fatigue element, I think the general feeling is job well done last night. It wasn't Scotland at their brilliant best, Dan. We all know that. I think some people are looking to club Steve Clarke over the head about that. I don't know why. I just feel, and the more I've thought about it, Scott, I don't know about you, that second half, if we'd got a second goal, I think we might have went on to win that by a couple, 2, 3, whatever. I just think the stress levels involved as the kind of game went on throughout the second half. There's only one goal in it, and these players are trying to do something that only 4 other Scottish sides have ever done: win a World Cup game. It's something that they've never done: win a tournament game. And I just think that there was an anxiety about the way we performed. And I come back to, I think I said it last night, I'm actually pretty confident that now they've got that monkey off their back, I think we'll see an improved Scotland, which will need to be improved, but I think we will see that against Morocco in the next game and hopefully Brazil in the final.
I'm not making excuses for the performance. We know the performance could have been better, should have been better. Should have had more control in the game, should have kept the ball better at certain points in it. You want to have a wee bit more kind of intensity from them, even though we know the conditions are difficult. But you think, Jacko, to how long ago this draw got made? From the moment that draw's been made,
everybody's put all the pressure on this. That you have to win it.
First game.
Have to win it.
You actually sit back and think about that. As a player, having that kind of weight on you,
knowing that for much, we can't not win this game.
And so it is big pressure. I mean, maybe people don't really think about it that way. They just think, you turn up and beat.
Yeah, they're football players, but they're human beings as well. There's a lot of weight on them last night. And another thing, Scott.
By the way, other families know that. Other families are expecting them to go and beat Haiti as well.
And there was a boy sitting in the stand with his leg all strapped up. And I did feel in that second half in particular, we just need to keep the ball. We've been robbed of him. He would have been absolutely ideal in those circumstances. Bit of composure.
Even off the bench.
Yeah.
Isn't going to start.
Yeah, that come off the bench, show a bit of composure. And keep the ball. Yeah. And Billy Gilmour could do that all night, and we were just giving it away. We were panicking. We were actually crying out for Billy Gilmour last night.
When you were saying, Keith, there was a guy strapped up there in the stadium last night that we could have been doing with. I thought you meant Robert Grieve from the Scottish Sun, who's there. He's had an injury, and he's had an injury in the staff versus the media game. No, look,
I think we'd rather Billy Gilmour, to be fair.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point. We've got some comments coming in. Who's the snitch? I think hits at the heart of it. A win is a win, either way you paint it. I think you said it, Keith. People trying to kind of beat Steve Clarke over the head. I don't get it either. I really don't get it at all.
There's a lot of black and white with it, isn't there? There's people who like Steve Clarke, maybe that kind of swerve towards the happy clapping camp, that are just absolutely thrilled we got the win. And I get that point of view. Then there's people from the polar opposite who don't like Steve Clarke so much and say, but that was nowhere near good enough. And I get that point of view as well. But I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle, directly in the middle. It's not black, it's not white, it's nuanced, it's grey. We got what we needed to get out of the game. People might argue that ultimately if we don't go through because of goal difference, we didn't do enough. and that's valid as well. But I just think the sort of grey area is, look, you know what? We got the 3 points. That was massive. Was the performance what we wanted it to be? No. But do I think there is massive room for improvement with this team? Of course. Look at Aaron Hickey. I didn't think he had a comfortable night. Look at Scott McTominay. I thought he looked like a guy that had been in his bed for 3 days. I look at John McGinn. I think he got the goal. I think he can give a better level of performance. Lon Shanklin worked his tail off for us up front, but nothing really came off from him. I think there are so many different levels here that you could look at maybe 5 or 6, 7 even starters in that game last night and say you can be better than that, and the team as a collective can be better than that. So I think we've given ourselves a solid platform, and that was ultimately what everybody was hoping for.
Put it this way, Dan. I think I'm right in saying Switzerland against Qatar yesterday, loads of chances, peppered the Qatar goal with shots and attempts at goal. And what happens?
Only had that 1 goal lead.
Yeah, 94th minute equaliser against a team that everybody expects Switzerland to go and beat. So, with Scotland fans, they'd rather loads of chances, loads of attacks, really exciting, but lose a goal late on, or would they rather get a 1-0 win, sit top of the group after one game? I think you know the answer to
that. And I would throw in as well. And again, I don't want to sound too patronising. I said this on our Breakfast Bundle show that we did at 2:20 AM this morning. But I would throw in as well. This is that was the biggest game of Haitian football history. They were always going to make it hard for us. They were always going to be running like men possessed. They were always going to be really difficult to beat, no matter who they were playing against.
We said that, me and Jack were talking this morning, and I think Steve Clarke mentioned in his press conference last night, in a bizarre way, people might not kind of quite understand it, but I think against Morocco and Brazil, Scotland will get more space to play.
I agree.
I think they'll get more time to play. Haiti, this was the biggest game of their lives. Do you know what I mean? And they do. They were all over Scotland. They didn't let us settle at all. Didn't let us get into any sort of passing rhythm. Well, that game meant so much to them. And even looking at some of the quotes for Haiti this morning, they're absolutely devastated that they didn't get out the game. So, look, we know how tough it's going to be against Morocco and Brazil. 2 teams, in the top 10 FIFA rankings. So, of course, it's going to be tough. But I don't know, Jack, I've just got a strange feeling the Morocco game might suit us a bit better. Just maybe sit in, a bit more of a game plan.
I completely agree with you, Scott. I really
use
do.
Garen Doak's pace.
Well, the reason
I've just got a feeling.
The reason that we're on a slightly earlier tonight, the 8 PM slot, is because we're about to get an Uber to the airport, the 3 of us, to travel on to Charlotte. And hopefully when we get there tomorrow morning back to the team base, we might be hoping to get some sort of access to Steve Clarke, and we can then start to ask, what is the plan?
Yep.
Are we sticking 4-4-2? I doubt it. Does he have something else in mind? And we'll hopefully find that out over the next couple of days. The approach could be different, or it could be the same. He might just think, well, we've worked on 4-4-2 for this length of time building into the tournament. Was it just for a one-off game? And do we revert to something which stylistically is more like you would expect from Steve Clarke for games 2 and 3? We don't know yet, because all focus, and that kind of totally exemplifies why there was so much pressure on the team. Everybody's focus for months was just on that one there.
Yeah.
Now it's game 2, game 3, and have Scotland got a plan B? Probably, but who knows? So that's going to be an interesting bit about the next couple of days when we get back down to Charlotte, get back into base camp, and find out what Steve Clarke has in mind for the Moroccan game.
I think if the game had gone differently, Daniel, and Scotland had racked up 3 goals, for instance, last night, there would have been such a positive. There's a positive feeling anyway, but we had such momentum and so much kind of strength behind this 4-4-2 and attacking the tournament. I think Steve Clarke would have been really tempted just to go with the 4-4-2 again against Morocco, knowing that you've got some goals in the bag if it does come down to goal difference in terms of getting through to the next stage. I do think just with the 1 goal last night and the slightly kind of below par performance, I think he'll look to change it in the next game. My gut feeling, look, we're only it's the morning after the night before, but my gut kind of immediate feeling is I think he'll probably look to bring like Kenny McLean into the midfield just to try and shore it up a wee bit, get Scott McTominay a bit further forward, playing off a striker. That might mean he has to sacrifice Shankland or Adams, but I think you're up against a team of Morocco's quality. I think every natural instinct within Steve Clarke, especially after the way the team performed last night, I think he'll look to maybe go back to a bit more pragmatic approach.
And some of our best performances against some of the bigger countries have been a kind of two men sitting at the base of the midfield. So you go Kenny McLean, Lewis Ferguson, and that has allowed Steve Clarke previously to say to McTominay, you go a little bit wide to the right, John McGinn a little bit wide to the left, and coming inside from outside. And we've seen, some brilliant. I think it was Denmark away we set up like that. I was at Norway, but that's a system he's used before, and it's worked. And that might allow then McTominay and McGinn to play nearer in and around about a central striker. So he's certainly, and that is the beauty of this squad. He's got such a talented group of players who've been together for such a long time that if he says tomorrow, right, we're switching, we're going to do this, they all know what's expected of them. They all know the system. So yeah, interesting.
And the beauty of it is having somebody like Gannon Doak, these electric pace. It gives you more of a threat on the counter. A lot of the time when we played, but 4-5-1.
Gannon Doak wasn't making my team there if you're putting Kenny McLean in.
You're still playing with two strikers?
No, you're right. It is. but yeah, kind of almost like a free roll.
For McTominay? No, I'd give McTominay. I think McTominay's so good. He gets a free roll. Yeah. Gannon Doak and McGinn can still play wide, but having the two sitters just allows you to say to McTominay, look, go and try and get a hold of the ball. Go and try and influence it. Get in touch with the striker. But that's my point. But when we've played that kind of system in the past, before we had Gannon Doak, we always struggled.
My worry, Scott, is that Steve Clarke gave a very curious answer when asked about Gannon Doak's performance. To me, I thought Gannon Doak was, if not our best player, then one of our best two players on the pitch.
I thought that.
He was asked a question about Lewis Ferguson and Gannon Doak. I think the question was, you must be delighted with the contributions that the pair of them made. And the answer was, well, you're right about Lewis Ferguson. He was exceptional.
Yeah.
And the inference from that is you're absolutely wrong about Gannon Doak. And he actually went on to say the guy, Gannon Doak, had a tough time. Ben had a tough time up against his fullback. Boy played very well against him. So to me, he was like, what are you doing? What's the motivation here? Because Steve Clarke is full of the mind games. So is he trying to get something extra from Gannon Doak in the next game? Is he not happy with him? Because there is a feeling, and it's like unseen by us. We don't know what's expected of people off the ball. I just wonder if he feels that Ben Gannon Doak didn't pull his weight last night in terms of offering protection to Aaron Hickey, who was exposed at times in the first half.
Yep.
And if he's not doing that, Steve Clarke won't be slow in telling him. And I wonder if you said that Andy Robertson said something pretty similar in the mix zone. You wonder if the players are looking, going, "Wee man, we love you, but you're going to have to work harder. You're going to have to do your work for the team before you start doing your work for yourself." I wonder if that is it.
You might be right. All I would say about that is, and look, he's still a young player, so of course he's still learning the game. And I think he does listen to the older players, and maybe he does have to do more off the ball. I tell you what, Jack, if I'm one of those players playing a game like that, I'm loving Gannon Doak because the outlet he gives you,
he's brilliant.
Him the ball.
Do you know what?
He goes at his man every time.
We sat in the press box for the first 15-20 minutes of that match, saying Ben Gannon Doak's on, get the ball over the top. Yep. It's an easy pass, and nobody was even looking for him. I found that frustrating. And the first time it happened was McTominay dropped into a bit of space. He saw Gannon Doak and he played the ball over the top. Benny Gannon Doak skins his man, and McTominay makes the run to the edge of the box, shoots, hits the post. And that was the first time we utilised Ben Gannon Doak's pace and the fact that there was a lot of room for him to play in.
See, you're right about occasionally trying to go over the top. I even thought it was on just to get him at 2 feet. all the time.
Yeah.
Just give him it.
He's happy to take it in tight situations. He's good enough to go by his man. And I thought right from the off last night, he looked at it. I just couldn't quite get why the other players seemed reluctant at times to get it to him. I think I said in my match report, for me, and this goes back to the kind of a wee bit of lack of intensity I felt in and out of possession. They were constantly trying to just play the simple
5-yard
pass
passes into midfield to the guy back to the centre half.
But they had to. Sometimes you need to bypass the guy next to you and go.
And it was on.
More direct.
It was on.
It was on. Lewis Ferguson actually said that in the kind of flash interview after the game with FIFA immediately after the final whistle. He spoke well about Gannon. He said, I felt as if we could have got it to him more often.
100% correct.
That was right.
So why do you think the manager's got a downer?
I don't know. It must just be to keep him on his toes.
Must be.
He obviously thinks, you know what Steve Clark's like. We've asked him about Gannon Doak before. I mean,
he's terrified of it getting
the prospect of any hype around one of these players. It just doesn't like it. I mean, McDermott's like the best player in Italy. He doesn't even talk him up, does he?
That's right. So somebody will say something about Gannon Doak and the importance of the team, and he'll probably turn around and say, well, yeah, but Anthony Ralston's a really important squad player. That's the way that he sort of deals with it, to just keep the expectations down a little bit.
I get that, but honestly, I think Gannon Doak, he can't, for years now, Dan, we've not had enough pace, we've not had that outlet.
This boy's a game changer.
We've relied on a McTominay or a McGinn or a Christie to come up with a moment, through their own skill and ability. In this modern game, the pace is so crucial, and we've not had it. He gives us that.
Terrifies.
So we need to utilise it.
Yeah.
We've got plenty of comments coming in, guys. Let me run through a few of these. A lot of people back home want to let you guys know their thoughts on last night's game. Sing the Blues says, I thought Haiti were the better team, but the only stat that matters is the score. Andrew, who's been in the comments a lot tonight, he is absolutely buzzing. It seems he says, I'm serious, guys. We're heading to a semi-final at the very least. It's possible.
Calm down, Andrew.
Has he been on the baby for the last 2 days?
No, listen, Andrew, don't listen to the two gloom merchants. I'm with you. I honestly think we should be looking, Keith, we should be looking at extending our stay out here. 19th of July is the final. I just think it makes sense. DP, though, is less optimistic. He in the comments says, that's Scotland out. They'll lose the next two games by a couple of goals and be one of the 16 at the 48 teams are limited. Yet another tournament Clark has messed up. Oscar, though, says Morocco.
Yeah, another tournament Clark has qualified for.
He's qualified us for, I know, exactly, 3 out of the last.
Also, you can't say after last night, Clark
won the game.
Messed up. But also the whole country's been crying out for 4-4-2 strikers, so he plays it. It's then up to the players to go and deliver.
Oscar says Morocco will be nervous. They need a win, so if it's 0-0 after 60 minutes, who knows? I think that's a fair point. Brendan says it will be 5-4-1 against Morocco. We've talked a lot.
Could be
4-5-1. Maybe Kieran Tierney brought back into a back five. Does it make sense?
Could
maybe?
Be. Could well be, Dan. I mean, that's the options. Obviously, if you're going to change it, it will be 4-5-1 or 5-4-1.
If you go 5 at the back, I'm not sure where Gannon Doak plays, because your wing backs offer you the width in that system.
Just off the striker, Keith, maybe? No? It's like the sort of 10, Roman 10. No?
He's never played that yet, so I'd be surprised.
No, but if you just go with if you're going to go really defensive, it's just a flat 5. No, Gannon Doak can still play as one of the wide players in a 4. As Jacko says, that then, I mean, it restricts your fullbacks obviously getting forward, but the thought might be that the fullbacks don't need to get forward against Morocco if that's going to be a game plan. Well, I think I might be wrong. I think he's pretty settled in the back four. The back four.
I'd be surprised if he changes.
Didn't do a lot wrong last night with the 4. As I said earlier, I think there's every chance he'll try and shore up the midfield a wee bit, just to give him a wee bit more kind of defensive structure. But I can't see him going to a 5 at this stage.
In the comments again, John says if it comes down to goal difference, then we're out. That's what happens at the World Cup. Green Machine says flood the midfield, don't let Morocco get into a rhythm. And again, Canadian Hammer says Tierney in a back 5 possibly. Modern Gamer says will Dyke start over Adams against Morocco? We need Shankland to have a better game. And this one I wanted to save to the end, but I'll just get your guys' take on it now. MG Jones says, you guys must be loving your jobs at the moment. One of the best seasons for years just passed. Scotland winning their first match in the World Cup. It's already kicking off back home already. And we're getting a lot of comments, guys, and about Derek McInnes. So we'll come to that in a wee minute as well before we wrap up the show. But just on that, are you guys having the best time of your life right now?
We are, yeah. I'm absolutely loving it, Dan. But I'll tell you what, when it's all over, I'll be desperate for a holiday, and I'll know what to see you two for the next 6 weeks. I'm just putting that out there now.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Andrew's back in the comments. He says McInnes is Walter Smith 2.0, guarantees an absolute ding dong of a season. We talked about this yesterday, Keith, when we were on our lonesome. I think Scott missed out. So we've not had your take on this yet, Scott. Last we heard, really, Derek McInnes is on the verge of becoming the next Rangers manager. What do you make of it?
Could be the best decision Rangers have made, Dan, in the last 5 years. That's heard me before on here on Hotline Live. I think Rangers, when they appointed their previous two managers, Danny Rowe and Russell Martin, I was saying that Derek McInnes is the guy they should go for. Look, I think it's been long overdue. To me, in terms of what's required to be a Rangers manager, in terms of somebody that knows the club, the demands, the expectations, has won things at Ibrox, obviously, as a player, as well as actually knowing the league inside out. It should have been a no-brainer for Rangers to go for Derek McInnes. And they've wasted time and money on other guys who, let's be honest, weren't suited to that role. So if this goes through, I think it's a really good move for Andrew Kavanagh and the board. As I say, it's long overdue, but at least it feels like they've been a year in the door. I think the owners are just over a year, and maybe it's taken them that time, but it feels as if now they're getting an idea of what's required at Rangers and the kind of people, the type of characters and personalities you need to be successful. And for me, it has been for many years, but McInnes is the absolute standout candidate, and I think it'll transform Rangers into something, but I certainly think Rangers will be right there challenging for the title next season with Derek McInnes in charge. I'd be absolutely staggered if they weren't.
I mean, as people have been talking about this Scottish footprint Rangers need, and if you're going to inject the Scottish footprint into Rangers at the minute, I mean, who else could it be, Keith, other than Derek McInnes and, of course, Lawrence Shankland? But as we said on yesterday's show, I'm just stunned at how easy they've been able to go into Hearts, take the manager, take the top scorer, and as you kind of alluded to yesterday, maybe even Cammy Devlin, who was one of the best players as well. Maybe McInnes could look at him as a potential.
It wouldn't surprise you, would it?
No, I think Devlin could be on his radar already, Dan.
I'd be astonished if he's not on his radar. In fact, I'd actually be pretty astonished if there hasn't been some sort of talks between the pair of them already, just saying to him.
Well, he's not signed for any club.
Exactly.
It's funny, I mean, I'm not just saying, I've genuinely really rated Cammy Devlin for a few years now at Hearts, but there was a time when he wasn't really a regular. Wasn't playing as much as he'd have wanted. And I remember shortly after Derek McInnes went in, McInnes immediately started using him. And I remember asking Derek McInnes about him, and he raved about him. He just loved him in terms of the type of character he was, type of player he was, the shift he puts in. I'm not saying he's the best footballer in the world, but
he's a far better footballer than he's given credit for.
He is. I think he is. And I just think if McInnes is going in there and he's looking at that squad and looking at guys he can get in early that he can trust, he's obviously already got Shankland, who's now a potential Rangers captain.
We've been here too long. This is the roughest I've looked.
No, you definitely drop up, definitely.
I think you need to switch them around.
I think me and Dan will be judging that.
Exactly. Well said, Scott. Well said. Let me read a few of the Rangers comments that are coming in while you two mull that over. Green Machine
I'm actually still hurt. I'm still hurt by your comment.
Sorry,
don't want to see me for 6 weeks.
Sorry.
I won't see you for dust, wee man. I guarantee it.
That's what I'm saying.
The Hotline Live viewers might be about to witness a lover's tiff, honestly. Green Machine says McInnes is a decent counter-attack manager. Rangers fans will get fed up come December when he's trailing Celtic, Hibs and Hearts. Your loyal Muppet says McInnes should nick Braga as well, get rid of Miovski. This one from Serion says, McInnes is definitely qualified, but only domestically. Scott McDermott says, I hope McInnes is a good start as Rangers manager.
Well, wait a minute. McInnes is qualified only domestically. This is a Rangers side that hasn't won a league title. I think from a Rangers perspective, guys, I think you should maybe concentrate on walking before you can run. Rangers can't win a league title. That's the problem.
This has been the problem with Rangers for years.
It's exactly the problem.
Keep hearing people talking about Rangers. They need to play better football, they got a style, they need to do well in Europe. You can't even win a trophy in Scotland.
I know. Well, look, Scott says, hope McInnes is a good start as Rangers, or diehard fans will turn on him. He won't get time if he doesn't. Rangers, okay, says, it's the most no-brainer appointment ever from us. He always has been the Rangers manager we've needed, and we've stuck around it and tried championship. Hipsters, coaches.
That sums it up. That's it in a nutshell, Daniel.
He's absolutely delighted. And the very last one, though, Ross writes in saying, Scott, why do you feel Rangers haven't went for Derek before now? Like, pushed the ball out for him? Why is it taking so long for it to happen?
Well, we all know that they've obviously been interested in him before, and he spoke to him. I think Jacko spoke about that last night when he was talking about the Derek McInnes news. But certainly in recent times, because there's been a total snobbery towards Scottish coaches,
Kevin Thelwell's appointment,
players. For a Scottish manager like McInnes, Rangers have had the same attitude towards players. No, you could say the same for Lawrence Shankland. Why they never went in for him before? No, it's the start of the season. Well, we sat down with Andrew Kavanagh not that long ago, and he was adamant that Rangers have now got an SPFL bias, which, to be fair to me, he's now putting into practice a year later than when he should have done. But that wasn't in place in the summer or January when they're going out and spending 5 million on Nadiri in January, 4 million on Majovski last summer. So, look, it feels like they're finally getting their act together. The proof will be in the pudding, but there's definitely been a snobbery towards Scottish players and Scottish coaches. For me, Derek McInnes has been the answer to Rangers' problems, and he's been staring them in the face for years, and they've chosen to ignore him. Why, you would need to ask the people inside Ibrox, the exact same as last summer when Lawrence Shankland is in Dubai training on his own without a club. Well, Scotland's top striker, a Rangers fan, somebody inside Ibrox thinks it's a bad idea to go and get him on a free.
I'll tell you another one, right? I'm going to drop in a wee bombshell exclusive here for Hotline Live.
Here we go. I like these.
Right. Exactly right, Scott. Right. A list was compiled, and last summer Rangers had the opportunity to sign Václav Černý for what would have been a reasonable fee. There was all sorts of suggestions, and people who know nothing but like the sound of their own voice were saying, "Oh, it's 10 million, it's this, it's that." And actually, Václav Černý had spoken to Barry Ferguson, and there was an understanding of exactly the compensation that would be required to make that deal permanent, and it wasn't way above what Rangers could afford, despite what some numbnut said. Listen, my wee exclusive, I would not be in the slightest bit surprised if Rangers are looking at doing a deal with Besiktas to get Černý this summer. And it is that return to, look, here's tried and tested. This guy has, been a real big hit in the Scottish domestic scene, knows the game inside out, understands the club. I think you'll find that, again, Kevin Thelwell, I mean, it's hard to think of a single thing that the guy got right. But when people were saying to him, that's a no-brainer, that deal is a no-brainer, he thought he knew better and he went someplace else. I think it's really encouraging for Rangers that Andrew Kavanagh appears to have realised, well, has realised, because Kevin Thelwell is long gone, but he's clearly realised that by delegating some big decisions, loads of mistakes were made. And one of the biggest mistakes that Rangers made last summer was not signing Černý. And I think that might be something that they look to correct over the summer.
Well, I'll tell you something else. You're talking about the game last night, and I agree with you, Dan. I thought Lewis Ferguson was the best player on the pitch, arguably. And I'm watching him last night, and the job he's doing in the middle of the park, thinking he's exactly what Rangers need. And who's arguably the biggest influence on Lewis Ferguson's career to date in terms of at club level? Derek McInnes at Aberdeen. So I mean,
nobody's got a better relationship.
Exactly, and with Bill McMurdo on the show not that long ago saying or refusing to rule out a potential move. It's going to cost Rangers a lot of money. I just wonder even now, I mean, he's not in the door yet, obviously, but I just wonder even now if Derek McInnes knows he's going to be Rangers manager, is he looking at that Ferguson situation? Or is he speaking? Has he spoke to Lewis Ferguson? Has he sounded him out? Is that possible? I think it'd be. I think if you asked Derek McInnes just now for a list of kind of 3 players they would love to get to Rangers, Lewis Ferguson would be right at the top of the list.
Well, if you had, I tell you, his list would probably be Shankland, Lewis Ferguson, and Cherny. So if he could make those 3 signings, what an introduction that would be. What a start to what appears to be his shot at being the Rangers boss.
Right, before we wrap up, guys, just give everyone a little insight into how the next few days will go for us here in America. We're still in Boston, but we're off to Charlotte this evening along with the Scotland team. Well, not with them directly, but they're going to Charlotte and so are we.
Back to base camp.
Yeah. Your first taste of Charlotte, Dan?
Oh, by the way, great city.
Hearing about the breakfast and everything.
Breakfast is good. Excellent.
Free lunch at the media camp. Decent.
Yeah, well. we felt that we put that mistake right.
That's right.
We received some bad information.
Vicious rumours that there was going to be the food was getting taken away, but
the fruit platter's coming back, which doesn't really affect your diet in any way, shape, or form. But I like it.
I like a wee grape every now and again.
And what else? Oh, as you will witness tonight for the first time, Dan, spectacular rooftop bar, which looks right across the city and its skyline.
You'll love it, Dan.
I think we'll have earned a beer by the time we get there, mate.
We'll be watching the Sweden-Tunisia game tonight, 10 o'clock. The big one.
We're going to miss Japan, Netherlands.
That's a shame because that'll be a good
gutted about that. I think that'll be a cracking game this afternoon.
Yep.
Perfect. And we should just say for our viewers, we will be back tomorrow with another edition of Hotline Live, all the way from the United States of America. What time are we thinking, Keith? Are we thinking
back to regular 9 p.m. UK time? Yep.
Excellent.
4 o'clock Charlotte time.
4 o'clock Charlotte time, 9 p.m. UK time. Thanks so much for all the comments today. Some of them have been brilliant. Thanks very much for watching today and over the last few days. We massively appreciate it. And thanks very much for watching. Hotline Live brought to you by the good people at Scottish Water. Keith, Scott, absolute pleasure.
Cheers, Dan. We'll see you in about 30 seconds.
See you in about 20 seconds. I'll see you soon. And thank you very much for watching at home. Hope you can join us tomorrow. Cheers.